OTB for you and me. OTB. OTB for you and me. OTB.
Hi everybody, thank you for joining us for our Easter Bunny tutorial. We're excited to create with you. So just so you know, we'll be painting an Easter Bunny with our watercolor that looks something like this. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it, okay? So first we're gonna need a pencil with an eraser, any kind of pencil, a thick either watercolor paper or other kind of thick mixed media paper that'll hold up under paint and water. Any kind of watercolor palette, doesn't have to be the exact same one or as big as mine, but any watercolor palette will do. We are going to need a pointy small brush, a medium pointy brush or flat brush, either way, some water, of course, in a jar. And last but not least, we're gonna need a little bit of thick white paint. Hopefully you can have that in the form of liquid watercolor or tubed watercolor. Acrylic paint works, even in this case oil paint, or if you have a white marker that goes on kind of thick, okay? So any kind of thick white for the shine in the eye of the bunny. As you can see here, it makes a pretty good difference already. So let's go ahead and start with sketching out our bunny. Okay, and you can have a parent help you if you'd like. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go up this way and sketch up a little shoulder. And remember, you can pause this video as much as you'd like. And we're gonna go from this side and do another shoulder. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make a big circle here, right above. So a big circle here. And then I'm gonna do a little circle up here. Or a little half circle like that. I know it looks funny, but it'll look good in a minute. So go ahead and get your circles like that. Great, once you get that, you're gonna wanna erase this middle part where the circles meet. Awesome, and then I'm gonna start over here, and again, a parent can help you, and I'm gonna connect them like that. So you'll see like two triangle looking things right there. Great. And for some of our younger artists, your parents could even sketch this out for you and you can paint it. Then you'd be doing a piece together, which would be really exciting. It's called a collaboration. Awesome. So now the next step is gonna be the little ears. That's what makes a bunny so cute and special. So I'm gonna put a little line. I'm gonna start on the side of his head and I'm gonna go to right there. So I'm doing these 4 lines that'll help me know where to go. So right in the middle of his head, you've got 2 lines right here. And then off to the side of his head, they're pointing up like that. So remember, you could pause and copy what I did. Awesome. Now we're gonna go up and we're gonna be kind of wavy. Notice I'm sketching, see, little by little, so I could shape it. And I'm gonna have a pointy ear. Bring it down and out until I reach that area. And then I can always erase and shape my ears however I'd like after. Awesome. Now I'm gonna go up and start to move things all the way to the side, like this. Alrighty, now we're gonna add his eyes. So to add his eyes, I'm gonna do a circle right here. It's kind of like a half circle, or kind of like a backwards D, because then I kind of turn it right there, that shape. See, it's like D backwards. And then this side, I'm gonna kind of make sure that I could do a light line if I want to make it even. You don't have to, you can go and guess and go for it. And I'm gonna go ahead and sketch an eye that comes out past his head a little bit. Like that, more of kind of like an oval a little bit. See? And then I'll erase that middle one. Awesome. And then you could always, once you're done with the eyes, you can erase those extra lines right there. You'll paint over them, but you can always erase them. So he looks a little funny right now, but I promise he'll look cute when we're done with him. Next we go right here down to like this part right here, like where his mouth, not mouth, but where the big circle is, kind of past that. And I'm gonna do a little shape that somewhat looks like this. It's kind of like a Y or a U with a point, okay? Next I'm gonna go down, a little line, and then I'm gonna go like this. And if I wanna make him look like he's smiling more, I sure can. I just have to bring this part up a little more, and this part up a little more. Great, and then I put this little shading down here, just a little bit of shading. He looks like a happy Easter bunny. Great, next I'm gonna go ahead and put a little square right in the center of his chin. Oh, he's gonna look so nice once he gets colored in. Then I'm gonna go in and do a wavy bow tie like this. Make a cute little wavy bow tie on either side. See? And then I'll erase any lines inside the bow tie that don't belong there. Again, if you would like a parent to draw it out and you color it, that is okay. Or you can try it a few times and see how you do with drawing it out. You can always pause here and try to copy the best that you can. All right, now it's time for coloring in our Easter bunny. So what I'm gonna do to color my Easter bunny, I'm gonna get kind of like a medium-sized brush or something like that, and I'm gonna dip in my lighter brown here. And I'm gonna add quite a bit of water, as you can see. Because we want a lot of water when we're painting with watercolor. We want it to be soft like this, not really thick. So I'm carefully gonna go around and paint inside my bunny. Oh, before I do that, I'm so sorry guys. We can also add this little part in the ears. It's kind of like almost like a diamond shape. And this one is kind of just a wavy shape in the middle. Great, sorry about that. But now let's go back in with our watercolor. And that's okay. Sometimes, you know, we forget to add something, so we add it later. That's just art. That's how it works. So right here, I'm gonna make sure to go around, but I'm gonna leave around his mouth kind of white. So I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna leave it around his mouth a little white. And I can actually use my finger to blend it if I want. I do this often. You don't have to, but just so it doesn't look like a straight line or straight circle around him, it looks like it fades out a little more natural, like fur would. So I go ahead and color in all the parts that are supposed to be like my brown. So go ahead and color in your bunny, leaving these open, this and that. And of course his eyes. Okay, so once your Easter bunny's colored in, we're ready to add some other colors. So notice he stops right here. If you wanted to keep going down, that's okay. You can do whatever you'd like. This is your painting. You could even add a background later. Whatever it is you want to do, it's totally up to you. This is your artwork. So once I got that light brown in, now I want to add a little bit of fur to my bunny. So I'm going to get a dark brown if I have it. If I don't have a dark brown, I can make one by taking a little bit of black and adding it in with my light brown. So I'm going to take a dark, or adding it into the brown I already used. So you can mix black and brown to make it lighter. So I'm going to take this darker brown and I'm going to add little bits of fur throughout my bunny. This fur goes this way. You could kind of copy the way that my fur's going. There's a lot of dark fur right here on his chin. And it circles up, because fur always goes in a different direction. Usually when animals have fur on their nose, if you have a cat or a dog, you could see that that fur goes in a different direction than the fur on his back. It's pretty interesting when you start paying attention which way the fur grows. So here we're just adding little lines all throughout our Easter bunny. Remember, yours could be different than mine. It doesn't have to be the same. My favorite part is to see how different they all come out. And now I'm even gonna add a little bit right around them, coming from the nose. And a little bit right here. There we go. And we'll even add some back here around his ears. Little pieces of fur, they're just little lines. And remember, you don't have to go as fast as me. In this case, we don't want to add too much water. If we add a lot of water, it starts to bleed like that. So we want a little less water. If it does, it's no big deal. Great. So go ahead and take your time to get all that fur on there. Alrighty, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of pink, and I'm going to start from the inner part of his nose, and I'm going to kind of lightly go up. And if I want, I can even dab the top of his nose to blend it out. Awesome. There's a sweet little pink nose. Since I've already got my pink here, I'm also going to color in these ears nice and pink. Okay? And it's nice that I have a decent amount of water in my paints. And remember, you don't have to go as fast as I do. Pause whenever you'd like. Okay, here's our blue. Now I'm going to take a light blue. If you want your bow tie to be a different color, that's totally fine. And I'm going to color in. So first I kind of trace it. Trace around it. Carefully, again, you could take your time. And then I color that in. Really nice, my little bow tie. And you could add more water than I did. Mine is a little thick, or you can go on thick like I did. Starting to come together, isn't he? Great, now I'm gonna switch to a very skinny brush, okay? So I'm gonna take a skinnier brush, if I have one. And I'm gonna grab some black watercolor paint with a little water, not too much. So you don't want the texture to drip. You'd rather it come on looking like more like a marker. Here's another thing you can do. You can let this dry and choose to use a marker if you'd prefer, if you feel like you have more control, or a pen. So all I'm doing is I'm taking my skinny brush or my marker or my pen, and I am tracing around my bunny. I could even trace around the eyes because I'm going to color those eyes in too. So if you had a marker or paint or whatever it is you're using, you could also carefully color in those eyes also. Oops, there we go. Mistakes are okay. I could just round it out a little. So carefully color in the eyes. And go ahead and keep outlining the outside of my bunny. Notice I'm taking my time. And when I get to this part where his ears are, I'm gonna shake a little bit because I want it to look a little furry. And up here, I'm gonna outline his ear. Perfect. And the outline doesn't have to be perfect. It's actually kind of nice when it's a little bit messy. It gives it a little character when you outline it. Not super messy, but see how mine isn't perfect? There's a style of art that goes really well with watercolor. So if you have pens and you want to sketch it little by little, feel free to. It looks really good. Nice. Be careful not to smear. I accidentally smeared there. It looks like my guy has a little hair, so I'm even gonna add a couple little black furs in there too. Just a little bit. Not too much. He's sure coming together, isn't he? Alrighty. So now I'm gonna trace around the pink too. Around the pink, so a lot of tracing. You can always take this in two sections and say, well, I'm gonna color them first, I'm gonna take a break, and then I'll trace them in. Sometimes when you take your time and you do it in a couple sessions, it actually comes out even better. Nice, you can see he's starting to come together. Again, I could use a pen, a marker, and now I'm gonna go ahead and trace his little nose very carefully. So in order to go thin, I like to keep my brush straight up like this. Really, and I barely touch the paper. I just glide across the paper, see? And then I cover this little bottom part with little straight lines, really soft, hardly pushing down at all. Barely pushing down. And now I'm gonna go and trace around my bow tie. Again, you could let this dry. I'm going all the way through, but you can take it in pieces. Take your time, pause as much as you'd like. And I trace around my bow tie. Oh, he's cute. I'm gonna add a little squiggly in the middle of the bow tie and some squiggly little lines on the side of the bow tie. Wow, my Easter bunny's sure coming along and he's almost done. Now I'm gonna go in with some thick white paint and I'm gonna clean off my skinny brush pretty good. I can even wipe it on a napkin to clean it off a bit. Now I'm gonna take a really thick glob of paint on my skinny brush and I'm gonna go ahead and do a little line up top here. And here, I'll do a little line up top. Don't push down hard. And I'm gonna add another little dot here and a line and a dot there. And there you go. You've got your sweet little Easter bunny. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please feel free to have your parents post your Easter bunny and tag OTB Arts because one lucky person who tags is gonna win a special prize. I hope you guys enjoy your Easter and your Easter bunny painting. Thank you for creating with me.
Oh.